Hey folks, update on things as they develop. Of course, yesterday I put up a video on YouTube mainly because there's a comment section so we could start dialogue, start talking with each other, get things going together. This morning I wake up to find out that David Richardson has unilaterally decided that the event will go on at a studio of one of his friends out in Utah. Now, yesterday in BS Martial Arts, a guy named Matt was kind enough to say, hey, my teacher has a dojo in Utah. It's roughly halfway between the two guys. May I talk to him about maybe setting up the venue? And I said, oh, that might be interesting. Maybe. Haven't heard from Matt yet. But, again, without trying to talk to me, David Richardson has tried to control the dialogue. I'll also point out that yesterday in the video, if you saw it, I asked him what safeguards he was going to put down to prevent him from calling the cops on me if I show up at an event, supposedly that he hosts. Well, no response from that. Let me explain things, read something off, show how this all started. It goes back to last Thursday. There was a heated exchange in the comment section of a site called Martial Arts Fakes and Frauds, or Frauds and Fakes. And there's a guy named A Journey for Truth, who I think the name is used by several people, maybe David Richardson himself, but definitely this was being written by someone very close to David Richardson, in close contact with him, part of his crew, you might say. And so on Thursday, this was written. About challenging people. Many of us are ready to fight you, Don Roley, wherever you want. Oh my. We have the names ready. Soke Daini Francisco Diaz Garcia from Mexico, a Grandmaster in Ninjutsu. David Richardson. Sky Benson and many others. Don Roley has bought his credentials in Japan, and through skills we see he performs as an 8th Q. Don Roley is weak, and his BSMA move like shit. Okay, so there it is. I've been challenged. Now, important to note, I said this happened on Thursday. This is a forum that David Richardson is well aware of, reads frequently, reads anything as soon as it's posted. I did not say anything about being challenged until Friday late afternoon, about 24 hours later. He had a chance to step in and say, hey fool, don't be making any challenges in my name. He didn't. So, going to assume, going to just work with the assumption that he was fine with this, thought it could get by, that I didn't realize it. And once I said, hey, I've been challenged, he said he took that to be a challenge and that he had all the control. He was going to say where it was, when it was, how it was going to be fought, all that. He was real pissy, folks. Real pissy, real demanding. You know, you're out here when I say you come out here, or you forfeit and be labored a coward, that type of thing. A typical thing that he wrote, and I've got screenshots of all this stuff, is, at the end of a long thing, far as I'm concerned, he challenged me in all this, and he needs to get out here to be served. Okay, there you go. So, when he thought that I could not prove that I was a challenged person, he tried all this stuff. Now that I can show it, and I am the challenged person, well, he has no complaints if I do exactly the same type of thing he tried. Now, I am reasonable. If things go through as I want, a lot of things have to come together, and Utah looks good, then I will decide it'll be in Utah. It will not be at David Richardson's friend's place, because let's face it, if you're friends with David Richardson, see what he does, like doxing people, stuff like that, and you're still fine with him being a friend, I don't trust you. Again, I really do not think that that's a good thing. Matt hasn't gotten back to me. There's a few other things, but if it happens, it will be at Matt's teacher's dojo. However, if things don't come together for Utah, and I say it's going to be in Colorado, then the only thing David Richardson has to do, has as an option, is to get out here to be served. Okay? Going to put together an announcement on my website, coloradospringsninjutsu.com, on Friday. Again, there's no way to make comments, so but I'll lay everything out, make the final decision on Friday. But again, I have the final say in everything, just like David Richardson tried when he thought I could not show how he had gotten a proxy to challenge me. So, I am kind of reasonable. One of the most things I'm going to be, if he wants to say something, again, there's comment sections here on YouTube. He can make suggestions, make offers, things like that. One thing I'm going to be really flexible on is the date, because let's face it, if you can't show up, you can't show up. David Richardson basically is swindling the government out of a pension, so it's not like he's got a job to do. And it looks like September 13th works for him. But if things happen, just let us know. Just let me know here, comment section stuff, and I will work with you. The only thing is that basically nothing's going to be able to happen before September 13th. So if that day is bad, we're going to have to move it back and not forward. Okay? But I'll work with you on that. As for how things are going to go down, well, I'm, again, Friday, final decision. But right now I'm leaning towards the same thing I did for Lee Moyer. And again, I made videos about that if you want to go through. But basically, it's this. Just the two of us, no protective gear, wooden weapons, no metal, no points, no edges. We go until one person can't go on, does not want to go on, or if one of two or more judges, onlookers say enough is enough, then things stop. That's it. That's what I'm leaning for. If you have any other things that you want to say, David, then chime in before Friday when I make the final decision. The main reason why I'm going to go with wooden weapons, why I want to go with wooden weapons is as much damage as a human body can do to another human body, the loser of a wooden weapon on a wooden weapon fight is going to be really fucked up. I don't care if you use a Boken, a Joe. I think Lee was going to use a 3-sectional staff if he was out here. I've seen videos of him using it. That would have been hysterical. David Richardson, I've seen you flail around with those Eskrima sticks. Oh, don't throw me in the prior batch. You're perfectly free to use those. We won't die, but we're going to really do damage to each other. Everything's going to be legal. Yeah. David Richardson, do you remember when you made fun of my wife dying of cancer? I do. So yeah, final decision on Friday. Open to input between now and then. But again, I have the final say. If I say it's going to be in Colorado, it's going to be in Colorado. If things work out as I want them to, be someplace in Utah. Matt's plates. Stay tuned. Friday blog. That's it for now. September 13th.